Hello, welcome to the Low Expectations podcast, series, season 2, episode 2. We're back again, if you missed us. And I'm here with Joel, as always. And then also we got a little special guest, and he's sat here all eager, ready to go. It's Mr. Jim Elliott. Hi, Jim. Hi, Jim. Woo! Crowd goes wild.
Hello.
Woo! There's a boo in the corner.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hello, Jim. How are you?
I'm great. Well, I saw all these podcasts going up, and what is this, like episode 140 now? I was thinking, when are they gonna ask me? Maybe they're just intimidated by me.
Well, we made it past the threshold set by Jim's podcast. Those who didn't listen to hitting the gym, you have been missing out.
Hitting the gym.
But did you do 3 in the end, or was it just 2?
We did 3 too many.
3 too many.
I was kind of gutted when it all
I
stopped.
loved it. It was great.
I enjoyed
it was the
them.
pinnacle of awkwardness, and that's what made it amazing.
Yeah, yes. Well, you'll get some more of that served up today, probably.
I'm sure we will. Jim, 15 seconds. Introduce yourself. Who are you? Where do you live? Not exactly. But autobiography of yourself. 15 seconds.
No postcodes.
Let me get a timer. 3, 2, 1, go.
I'm Jim. I go to St. Peter's Church, and my job is a lot of video-related stuff, and I'm also a musician, and I play guitar. I'm married to Olivia. We've just found out that we're going to have a baby in July.
Woo!
And I'm from Guernsey.
Woo! 15 seconds. Look at that.
Whoa, that was efficient.
That was so efficient. And he's from Guernsey.
Yeah, that was strong.
Yeah, just
get that in
job, wife, heritage. That's all you need.
Yeah. How are you? Are you excited? I was about to say that you're pregnant, but you're not pregnant. Your wife is
Not
pregnant.
quite.
Are you excited? Are you nervous? Where's your head at?
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it doesn't really seem real for the guy. I'm not even sure if it feels that real for Olivia, apart from she's starting to get a bump now.
Yeah.
But for me, I think I'll just need to see it like there, and then that'll be the nice moment where I connect and go, oh, this is nice. But obviously it'll also be the moment where simultaneously I'm like, oh, my life is over.
I've got an image of you being like, hello, child, and just
hello,
holding up the baby. Just
Hello, child. Into
Hello.
the world. Lion King style.
Simba.
Have you had a conversation about potential names yet, or is that?
Yeah, Simba's top of the list. No,
Nice.
no, I think we've got better.
Let's just hope that Dad doesn't end up.
Yeah, well, I think we've got better girl names than we have boy names.
so you know what that
it's
means is it will be a boy.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
probably. We've got some boy names lined up as well. Girl name is Nala. Only joking. That's like Lion King fans out there. Yeah, so obviously not giving away girls' names at the moment, or any names. That's the trend, isn't it? That's what people do.
No.
It annoys me with parents that are
So
expecting.
do you reckon?
Not finding out the names that they want to give a child until they actually give them a name? So annoying.
There's actually a baby boom at St. Peter's when there's like loads of babies due in July and August. So we hope that we'll be like slightly premature so we can get our name in and just make sure that no one steals our name, which is probably like a 1 in a million chance anyway, but you know how it works.
Just go something biblical and you'll be fine. Just
Well, that's,
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
Yeah.
yeah, Methuselah.
Methuselah. Amazing.
Do you reckon you'll be you'll find out the gender before?
Oh yeah, no,
Or will it be like a surprise?
No, I'm way too sensible for that. Yeah, I think you get a lot of joy in the moment that it's being born anyway. So you may as well just spread the joy out and find out, oh, it's a boy, and that type of thing, or a girl.
Yeah.
So and it's also sensible as well, buying wise, I think.
Yeah, you don't want to paint a room like the wrong colour even though there are no gendered colours.
To be fair though, like
myself
that's
there.
what my brother did. He just bought everything like unisex and like white trainers, like stuff that boys and girls can wear, and then it was just a nice surprise. But people do it differently. When me and Angus have a child, we'll have to have that discussion.
We're going to play a game. Let's change the topic very quickly.
Woo!
Would you rather? No, I don't know how this. How did this work last time we did it? It's like, do we all answer, or is it like, yeah?
No, I reckon I'm out of the question unless
so
I
it's
want
just
to.
Jim. Okay, great.
Yeah, we'll just go Jim.
You're
yeah,
on the spot.
Unless I want to interject, kind of thing.
Jim, would you rather? Okay,
Nice.
So the choice here is either. So you've got to always have one of these haircuts. So you can't ever have a different haircut. That's the point. Would you rather always have a mullet or a ponytail?
I would rather have a mullet.
Okay. Why?
Yeah.
I agree.
I might have changed my mind, but I think you've just got more to like. There's more to do. You got a fringe and stuff like.
Got it.
Yeah, ponytail. It is just pinned back the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
And Joel actually has first-hand experience of living with a ponytail. So.
Right.
Yeah.
True. Well,
Well,
you
it was
say
just a lion
ponytail.
mane, wasn't it? Let's be honest. It was just like.
Yeah, it was a bit of just a mess of all things.
Just quickly on that subject, my original plan with the screen behind me is to have two really embarrassing photos of you both on my screen in the background.
Why didn't you do it?
Which is really, it's really easy for Angus, but
Yes.
Joel's gone on a massive cull. Like, look at Joel's Facebook or Instagram. Like anything before the last year.
We did a birthday episode a year ago for Joel's birthday, and I had to find like embarrassing photos of his childhood, and his sister had to send me loads because I couldn't find any. He's gone through and deleted everything.
I'm just like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, I kind of just... Actually, to be fair, I used to have a lot of embarrassing ones on my like original Instagram from like 2011.
Which
Well,
but then
unfortunately,
that one just
you've forgotten the
disappeared.
login to, so you can't accept my follow request. So
Well,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
exactly.
I could have sent you some, but then you would have given away the game. So it's,
Giving away the
not as
game.
fun.
Or you could have just done your research and watched the episode, Jim.
Would you rather?
I'm just kidding, no one watched it.
Would you rather be forced to listen to the same 10 songs on repeat for the rest of your life, or forced to watch the same 5 movies on repeat for the rest of your life? This is kind of related to what we're talking about today.
okay, yeah. So I'd rather listen to the album,
Got it.
or the 10 songs, simply because if I'm forced to watch a movie, that's basically taking up 2 of my senses. If you are forced to listen to an album, it means you can look at what you want to look at. So I think there's a flaw in your question there. I'm taking
It's not my question. I just Googled it.
Okay, well, Google's
That's
the
great.
problem,
That's
so.
great. Would you rather have a time machine or a teleporter?
Wow. Time machine. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like, you can get around teleporting problems with the time machine.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean...
Imagine how easy work would be with a teleporter, though. Like, you could literally live anywhere and
Do you know, that's
show
probably
up.
the most sensible answer you could have given. Like that, if you have a time machine, you don't need to teleport.
Yeah.
Because
Why?
you just go, okay, it'll take me 2 hours to get there. Let me go back 2 hours and then get there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's ways around it,
Oh.
Well, how have I never thought of that before?
There's a loophole.
That's amazing. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gobsmacked. Would you rather have to always hop around on one foot or have to always squat?
It's 1 foot, isn't it? It's definitely 1 foot.
Not squatting? You're not squatting for the rest of your life.
Oh, your thighs would just explode.
Yeah, but so would your calf on the side of your
it'd be a
hopping leg.
massive calf, though.
Okay,
Like-
again, you
Yeah.
got to think of the third thing, and the third thing is, if you have to hop everywhere you want to go, just stay where you are. just don't move, which is pretty much my life anyway. But if you have to stay where you are and you're squatting, that's a nightmare. You'll be dead soon. So just stay still.
That's the end of Would You Rather. Insert jingle here.
I think that was probably one of the better games that we've had.
That was absolutely hilarious, and I didn't expect anything less. Right, today we are going to talk. We're all filmmakers here, on varying degrees. There are some people like me who are very new to the game, but I think we all have our opinions on films and TV shows, and so today we are going to be talking about our top 10. Basically, the way I've worked this out is that there's 10 categories, and we've just got to choose our top one in each category. Jim, on the other hand, has decided to narrow them down, so we're probably going to get a bit of his thought process here. It was really easy for me to choose my favourite in all of these categories. I don't know about you two.
Well, I'm assuming it was easy, and that's why you chose those categories, because you thought, what's my favourite? Oh, I know my favourite soundtrack.
No. I had about 30 categories, and I just went through and just randomly picked.
Oh yeah, okay.
Don't do that to me.
Okay. Yeah, that's how it works.
I think it's good. Let's start with the first category. Now this changed a little bit. This was top Netflix original movie, but I decided it should just be top Netflix original. So like movie and TV show, but this isn't including movies or TV shows that they've bought, because obviously Netflix original is the production company. So there's shows on there that weren't made by Netflix, but now say Netflix original on them. So do we want to take it in turns to say what our top one is? Or should I go first?
You organised it, Angus.
I know.
Yeah, you go, ladies
your
first.
party.
Thank you. So I put my top Netflix original as The Crown.
Oh, well done. Okay.
Ooh. The Crown is strong. To be honest, I'm not going to lie. When you sent it through, you did say top Netflix original film.
You did originally.
So I've gone a little bit more along the film.
That's what I just said. Yeah, that's fine.
So this is the issue that I've had. But
what did you put?
So in terms of, I've put, again, just a disclaimer. I feel like you two watch a lot more films than I do.
I can see that by your work, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I went through a stage last year of watching a lot of films. But I was always the kid at college when they were all like nerding out about films and stuff, so I don't really care.
Okay.
So what have you... You're beating around the bush here. What have you put?
So he's gone for My Little Pony, hasn't he? What is it?
Bob the Builder, the movie.
Trolls World Tour!
I've actually gone for a little bit of like a random one, but I've gone for Uncut Gems.
Oh, I've seen this, but I don't know what it's actually about.
It's got Adam Sandler in it, and it's kind of about like jewels and stuff, and then it's all a bit of like a mismatch. But it's one of these films that it is 2 hours long. Okay. But it like after you've watched it, you're like, that didn't feel like 2 hours like at all, just because it's like so compact.
Got it. So there's no substance to it. It just flows right through. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I think that was really good. But then also thinking about it, if we're talking about TV programs, you recommended me a few last time.
I did recommend you quite a few.
But no. I'd probably say.
Wait, like a Netflix original.
Yeah, it's not my favourite ever, but like Netflix original, I really enjoyed The Politician.
The Politician is a great show.
As much as I remember being a bit sceptical when you told me it was about.
It's very Ryan Murphy. It's like this cross between like American Horror Story, but without the horror stuff. It's that kind of like teenage style. It's great. It's really good. Jim, what did you put?
Yeah. I started off obviously with films, and then realised there are basically no good Netflix films apart from A Marriage Story with Adam Driver, who's like the best actor of all time.
Nice.
Yes.
And the Black Mirror one, Bandersnatch, and then I saw.
Bandersnatch is great.
Because I googled this and then it came up with Bright, which is that one where Will Smith is inexplicably like his sidekick is like this alien, and you're just so weird.
Yeah.
So I went to series, and my top 3 was Ozark, Stranger Things, and The Crown.
Nice.
Got it.
And it's really tough because Ozark is amazing. It's like basically like
Ozark's
Breaking Bad.
wicked, yeah.
I think it has to be The Crown.
Oh, are we in agreement here? Wow.
Ding 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 ding
Ding, 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 ding. Wow. Amazing. I actually was not expecting you to say The Crown. I don't know why. But then, thinking about it, you are right. There's not many... You know, I mean, there's like... Netflix originals have been like... There's been a few really good ones. But there hasn't been like... It hasn't been like, oh my gosh, every single show is amazing. Every single film is amazing from Netflix. So, that's great. That's really good. Obviously, you've watched season 4, haven't you?
Obviously. Yeah. On the day it came out.
I watched it on the day it came out as well. I watched like the whole thing. I think it was a Sunday or something. I wasn't doing anything. So I literally just woke up, watched the whole season. It was great. What was your favourite season of The Crown?
It's not season 4. I actually prefer the earlier seasons because they're just a bit more like harsh.
Right.
They're just, which I kind of like. I mean, I know it gets harsh. It's almost sad the later it goes on. But I think it's just when it's in the war and it's a bit old. I feel like I'm learning things. The amount of times I had to Google something, like, did this happen? Did this happen? This is like a little history lesson as well.
Great. I think season 4 was my top so far, but I think season 2 was very close after that. Season 3 was a bit of a write-off, but yeah.
Wow. A couple of great episodes in season 3.
Oh, there's the Aberfan episode.
There's the Aberfan episode,
that was a good
and
episode.
there's the Moon episode.
Oh yes.
Where Philip has this whole like realization that there's something bigger, and that's so well done. That episode, little touches, very good.
Very, very good. Amazing. Well, that's the first category. Ding, ding, ding.
Right. Well, that was an hour. Good.
Ding, ding,
Here
ding.
we go. It's the top film that you've seen this year. Doesn't matter where it's come out. And by this year, 2021. So in the past month and a half. Doesn't matter when it came out. It's just about what you've seen this year. So let's switch it round. Let's start with Joel.
Again, the one film I've watched this year.
Oh no! This hasn't gone well, has it?
No, but it's a good film.
Okay.
I watched Tenet.
Oh no!
I like.
See,
Tenet.
I've already heard Jim's opinions on Tenet, so I just know what's coming.
So this is the thing. So hear me out. Hear me out.
We're hearing you out.
Yes, I get it that like it might be a bit like all over the place, a bit confusing.
That's a bit of an understatement. Like,
okay, a lot's confusing. But I think my favourite thing about that type of movie is that you can kind of take kind of like your own kind of thought process on it, and like, why are they doing this, and this? And it's kind of just like a constant cycle. You don't have to understand.
Oh.
Don't know, does that make sense?
What you're saying makes sense, but the way that would make me feel is like, it's like, do you want to go on like a roller coaster, assume you like roller coasters, or do you just want to be like spun round and made dizzy? I think the first one.
I think no, but like, so that's kind of like the discussion that I had with like my school teachers, like my media teachers, when we watched like another one of Christopher Nolan's films, Inception.
Oh my goodness!
And it's like we had a big like, I know it's just like, it seems to be like a Christopher Nolan thing that everybody has like hit and go.
Well, yeah, he just does. Well, he just makes really
it,
confusing films.
Well, this is the bee in my bonnet. Because with Inception and Tenet, the whole thing is like, because I watched Tenet maybe a month ago, and I was, trying to keep up, and, you feel a bit sort of stupid, but because I'm like an intense viewer, I feel like my intelligence needs to be like rewarded somehow by like actually understanding like what's going on.
Yes.
But I think he's deliberately made it so it isn't that you're like, oh, it's so clever, I can't keep up. It's like, no, this doesn't make sense. Like, you've created like things that this you've created impossibility because you say that this thing can happen and this thing can happen. Half of my confusion is the fact that they couldn't run together, especially like if you think about the whole like backwards thing in Tenet, and Inception's got so many flaws. Like I was almost watching Inception before this because I knew it'd come up as like the best movie ever or whatever, but I'm just like, I'm thinking, no, this doesn't, like, there's so many flaws in Inception where you get to the last 10 minutes and you're like, why didn't they just do this? Like, why did...
do you know, I get your whole thing with Tenet about, like, I think we had a conversation about how, like, when the cars are going backwards, how does that work? Are they actually going backwards? Or is it the time? Or is it something like...
I didn't get that bit.
Your car can't do that.
Because it's ridiculous. That's why.
I didn't get that yet. But it's like, but then like throughout the film, like it's the same as like Inception. Like we had like a discussion like at the end of the class and just be like, what did you take out of this bit? And I love that kind of thing of just seeing what other people are thinking. And like, I know it kind of, it defeats the objective of like, enjoying a film or whatever. But like if you have like a discussion with somebody, like,
yeah,
like after the fact and just say, what did you take from this bit? Or like whilst you're thinking about it in the film, you're like, oh, I wonder what I take from that.
There's a load of like conspiracies about Tenet and about like what this means and what that means. And there's one like, we actually spoke about this on the last episode. That's quite funny. There's one like, there's one conspiracy that like the kid at the end is actually Neil and he goes back or whatever. And I'm like, whoa, hang on a second. I'm already confused. I'm confused even more now because like now you've just thrown that in my head and I can't stop thinking about it. And me, as a very simple person, I just kind of want to watch a film and not be thinking too much about what is actually happening. I want to see what's happening and then think about the impacts of that. I don't want to be like, but what if this was meant to happen? So I just don't. I don't really enjoy confusing films because of that.
It's It's a bit like if you were tucking into a really nice steak, and you just want to enjoy the fact that it tastes like a steak.
Yeah.
But actually, the steak is actually a really nice banana. So you spend the whole time being really confused about how they made the steak taste like a banana, and then you're distracted because I just want to be enjoying my steak. You know. I don't want all these other... It's like fizzy drinks. I want to be refreshed. I don't want to be like, oh, that's not refreshing. Or spicy food. I don't want to be like, oh, like my head's like melting. Why can't I just enjoy the taste?
I disagree with... No, I don't actually. I think there's definitely a limit with spicy food. And as part of this metaphor, there is a limit with confusingness in films. With that, I will enjoy a very, very spicy, like jalapenos. Love a bit of that. Because they're not too hot. They've got a lot of flavour in them and I enjoy it. Ooh, my mouth's tingling a bit. Great. But I'm not going to like be, for instance, talking about it on the way home from a restaurant about how hot the jalapenos were. Whereas on the way home from Tenet, all you're talking about is how confusing the film is.
I've managed to derail the conversation into food really, really quickly.
Yeah. Jim, what is the top film that you've seen this year?
Okay, so there's a film called... I literally got notes for this. There's a film called Peanut Butter Falcon.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Which is a really good, like, super low-key film. It's just character-based and moves along pretty slowly, and it's not like, whoa, action. But it just kind of makes you feel nice. But special shout-out to the fact that I recently watched The Mandalorian, which made me feel like I need to brush up on my Star Wars folklore, and basically watch all of the Star Wars films. And I know that the first trilogy is, as in the prequels, are basically written off. But what I found interesting is that the last prequel, where, you know, Anakin Skywalker becomes Darth Vader, spoiler, that is, especially the second half of that is like really, really good.
Yeah.
It's actually really good. And then you go from that into Star Wars, And this Darth Vader character, he's like not even remotely scary in like A New Hope. Like he's not even number one. He's sort of like bossed around by this Tarkin guy, and it's just like, how did this guy become a legend? So that's my little Star Wars thoughts, just for any Star Wars fans out there.
I need to brush up on my Star Wars. I feel like I haven't watched.
Just go watch them all.
Especially like the old ones. Yeah, I haven't watched the old ones since I was probably like 8 or 9.
Get into that.
It's like...
Amazing. Well, that sounds great. The top film I've seen this year, I actually only saw last week. It's a film called Beautiful Boy, and it's got Steve Carell and Timothée Chalamet in it, and it's based on a true story, and it's about Steve Carell plays this kid's dad, and the kid is addicted to crystal meth, and it's about the back and forth trying to get him off, like going to rehab and then like relapsing and all of that, and it's like really emotional and like really intense as well. And,
whenever on this podcast, whenever you describe a film, I'm always just left just like, what are you talking?
Thank you.
Like when you were just like even when you did like The Politician last year, you were just like, oh, this guy just like he died, and then his best mate was just like grieving about, and then he went off with this other guy, and then I was just like, what?
Well,
or that one about the ones that made friends with the person that like killed their husband or something. I was just like, I don't know, you just come up with some random descriptions.
I just watch like, just films that come up, like,
What I heard in your description, Angus, is that there's a beautiful boy and someone wants to get him off. That's what your words were.
No, that's not what my words were at all. Don't take this out of context at all. This is
the viewers can see what the words were. I've carefully selected the words, but
you two. Why did I think this was a good idea? We've only done 2 categories. Oh my lord.
I know.
Next question.
Guys.
Oh my gosh. So the next one's a top movie soundtrack. Now, I thought about this a little bit longer, and I was thinking, I probably should have split this into 2, because I couldn't decide what was my favourite soundtrack and what was my favourite score. Because you've got some films that it's just a compilation of like pop music, and you're like, oh, that's a really decent soundtrack, like the Footloose soundtrack.
Okay.
That's a great soundtrack. But I decided to go for a score, and I put Dunkirk.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
nice.
It's
hard to disagree with this stuff.
Because the simple reason that, like, if you just watch Hans Zimmer talking about it and how everything's motivated, it's like, oh, wow. Like, there is so much knowledge in this score about how, like, oh, this signifies that the time is, and then there's, like, never-ending loops of notes just, like, rising, and it's
crazy.
Like,
The only thing you can say that would be wrong in this is if you say 8 Mile or something like that. Everything else is right.
It's even just like in the Dunkirk soundtrack at the end when it just goes into Nimrod when the plane is coming into and it's like, oh my lord, like, So there you go. That's mine.
Standing up, drinking your tea.
Yeah, literally, like in the cinema, waving a flag. God save the Queen. Jim, what did you put?
So many. I'm just going to list them all. Bodyguard, Forrest Gump, Gladiator, Truman Show, Jurassic Park. Basically, you need strings. That's my vibe.
Right.
But the winner that basically doesn't have any strings, ironically, it's a bit left field, but I went for The Lion King.
Nice.
Really?
Yeah. Fair play. Yeah.
That's a really, really good shout. Yeah.
You feel
like
the love
at least 2 absolute bangers in that, probably 3. And if you've ever seen the musical as well, when it's just straight in with Circle of Life, you're just like, it's the best thing ever. Why did I ever think anything different?
Have you seen the musical live, Jim?
I have. It's pretty much the only musical I've ever seen.
Is it actually? Oh, on behalf of everyone, I'm so sorry. Like,
the only musical I've ever seen is
the
Bob
worst
the Builder.
musical on the West End. So I'm a bit disappointed that it's the only one you've seen.
Well, actually, Olivia, that was my birthday present for my 30th birthday.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go.
What about that Shrek one that James Corden was in?
Shrek the musical. Oh, apparently it's actually really good. So I'm not going to pass any judgment on Shrek the musical. Joe, what did you put?
I like that Lion King one. I actually put High School Musical 2.
Oh my goodness!
I'm joking. As much as I used to love High School Musical,
Angus was like,
Of course you did. Look at what you're wearing.
Angus was like, yeah, legit, yeah, good choice. I was like.
Yeah, great choice. Like Troy Bolton. Like.
Joel, what is your actual answer?
No. I think I've got, again, it's a bit boring, but I think it has to be like probably Interstellar.
Okay, that is pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like it's a bit of a boring answer, but it is so good.
Yeah.
But like the amount of times where I've like the same, and I know you don't like it, but like the same as like Inception, like just all of that stuff, like I would literally happily. I've literally got playlists on my Spotify just full of like.
Of course you do.
But yeah, I think Interstellar is probably
solid choices.
Quite high up
Solid
there.
choices. Yeah, I think that was good. Top overrated film. Ooh,
Great.
This is the one. I'm going to go first because I'm going to piss Jim off so much. I think Star Wars as a whole is
that's okay.
Very overrated.
Oh!
So I actually
forgot it was overrated. I thought you were saying it's amazing, but now I'm curious.
Yeah, so I had a conversation with somebody literally like moments before we started, and they were like, "Yeah, Star Wars." I was like,
I think it is the most overrated film series ever.
Okay, I'm going to counter that immediately with where the place where it got its rating wasn't obviously the prequels or the latest films. You have to go back to like the late 70s, early 80s films, and you have to. Okay, name 5 films before Star Wars. Just any film.
The Sound of Music.
Yeah. It's 5. Just quick 5. Sound of Music.
I know where you're going with this.
Well, you can't think of it. Okay, so you got the Godfather trilogy, Jaws, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
Sound of Music and Mary Poppins and all that stuff, and like Citizen Kane if you want the 30s, and a few Disney films. But apart from that, like you can't really think of like loads of blockbusters films before like 1977, which is the first Star Wars, and that film was in space. It's in space. They've only just got their head round like films, or at least blockbusters, and this one still there. And this one has got like aliens and spaceships. Can you imagine how groundbreaking that is?
I didn't say it wasn't groundbreaking. I thought it was overrated. I just don't. I just don't think they're that good.
To be fair, the first Star Wars is
that by
a little bit guff, but in terms of like where it's placed in like legendary status and what it means, and like as a film, you know, we've come a long way, even just in like
I get that
narrative.
I understand. It's it is so groundbreaking, and I'm not saying I didn't enjoy them. Like I enjoyed watching them. I haven't watched them for a while, but I just don't think they were that good. Like I just I think there are better films out there, and I have not chosen to watch them again since any of them. The last one I haven't watched the most recent. The last one I watched was The Force Awakens, so I haven't seen any of the new Disney ones.
If you were born in 1962. You would think they were the best films ever. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't born in 1962, was I, Jim? So, and neither were you. So,
no. Just a little bit talking about like a big series of films, and the first one's pretty tragic. What are your thoughts on Harry Potter?
Oh,
because I can't have an opinion. Apart from the fact that I don't really want to sit through and watch a nerdy wizard boy for 2 hours. I've only watched the first one.
I remember enjoying them.
But it was pretty bad.
I remember enjoying them. I wouldn't go and watch them again. This is my
Yeah, so
problem
that's
with
the thing,
big,
like,
long films like that. The Lord of the Rings, I remember enjoying it. I wouldn't watch
Love
it
it.
again. There is just no part of me that goes, oh, yeah, I want to sit down and watch The Lord of the Rings. Like,
Literally
and the
seen-
worst thing
That's the
about it
thing that
was,
I don't
the only copy of The
understand.
Lord of the Rings we had as children were the director's cuts. So I've seen The Lord of the Rings director's cut. I've seen the
Yeah.
long one.
Yeah,
And I
I've
was like,
seen-
yeah, I enjoyed that. Great. But I'm not going to watch it again.
I've seen the long trilogy 3 times in the last 4 years. I'm a freak, I know, but
Yeah.
but at the same time,
Do you know how much of your life you're wasting watching the same thing over and over again? You might as well just go on a walk.
Well, sorry, podcast listeners. Episode 300 of this podcast. But with Harry Potter, I've basically never watched. I've never really got into it. I don't think it's got the. In my head, Game of Thrones and Lord of the Rings, they're really the same vibe. It's something to do with that medievalness, which I kind of like. But Harry Potter, I don't know if it brings that in. It's all just
Yeah.
wizarding.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I remember enjoying Harry Potter. I just wouldn't watch it again. I remember enjoying Lord of the Rings. I wouldn't watch it again. I don't remember enjoying Star Wars a lot. I definitely sat back and I
Fair
thought,
enough.
this is probably a good film, but I'm not enjoying it. So, yeah, there you go. Jim, what's your top overrated film?
Let me just refer to my list of overrated films. Inception and Tenet were obviously there.
Yes. But we've had
Basic-
that conversation and we're stopping there. Yeah.
Basically anything by Quentin Tarantino.
Got it. Okay.
Jeez.
Did you watch The Irishman?
I think most of Quentin Tarantino stuff just like absolutely loves itself. It's like Michelin star food that doesn't taste good. It's like everyone goes wild for it and you're just like,
Yeah.
why? I don't get
Okay.
it. But the top of the list is like Twilight, obviously.
Fair, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I disagree with the fact that that's rated. I think nobody.
Oh no. Well, the thing is, it's rated by like people like my wife.
Right, okay.
She's like, I like the Twilight series, and a lot of people just see it as a normal film. But film buffs, obviously, they'll turn their nose up at it, and it'll get a bad Rotten Tomatoes score. But you have to like a lot of people went to see Twilight, so therefore it's the pop music of films.
Yeah.
So it is rated, but it's also really bad. So therefore it's overrated.
Okay. Yeah. So your final
fair
answer
enough.
is Twilight.
Yeah, that's my first sheet down, guys.
Oh.
That's halfway through.
Getting
you know,
serious
if we
now.
end in 10 minutes, he's cut it a lot.
Joel, what's your top overrated?
I don't really know. I really struggled with this
really.
one.
Sounds like you struggled with the whole episode.
really-
So-
Yeah, I struggle at live, but like, yeah, I don't know. I think the one that I came up with, and I've actually heard quite a few people just like love this film, but it was The Martian.
Oh.
Okay.
Have you ever seen?
I've not seen it.
And I was just like, so it was just like, again, like I haven't seen it for a while. Maybe if I watched it now, it'd be a different story. But like,
Yeah.
there was it just felt like the longest 2 hours of my life.
I think I can tell you
But then also-
what's happening there with that film. It's basically Castaway on Mars. And something happens where whenever one actor, especially if they've got a semi-decent reputation, whenever one actor basically has to hold a film, there's automatically this thing where people think it's an amazing actor performance and it's an amazing film.
Give them an Oscar.
I can't think of a film that isn't sort of like that. Obviously, everyone in Castaway, like Tom Hanks, oh yeah, amazing performance. And, The Martian with Matt Damon was the same thing. I was like, oh yeah, an amazing performance. It's just it was okay, but
Yeah.
what was it amazing? I think there's something which we can't get our heads around where if you just see someone on screen for so long, you just get over this threshold after an hour where you're just like, well, this guy's obviously an amazing actor because he's always seeing in this film.
Yeah, that is true. That's really interesting, actually. Because, the more you think about that, the more you think, that's pretty much how popular culture sees single-act films.
So I'm waiting for my big break with 2-hour films.
I did actually watch a few things after I watched The Martian. And, like, apparently, like, there's, again, I don't know because I'm not in, I'm pretty dumb if you get to know me. But, like, they were literally just saying, like, the majority of the film is, like, massively inaccurate as well. Like, they've not really done too much thought into, like,
right.
Obviously we don't know much about Mars. But I was also just like, I don't know, if this film's like top tier, as people might say, surely there's got to be an element of like, oh, this is actually like
research,
kind of like scientifically.
You like to think when you're watching a film you are being a little bit sort of educated, and you do feel like, obviously, like Pearl Harbor, something like that. I think she's Kate Beckinsale or whatever her name is, just wandering around in a Wonder Bra, and they hadn't even been invented yet. Just little things like that. Lose the touch for me. Obviously, Kate Beckinsale wandering around in a bra. Most people might be something different, but I'm thinking they weren't invented yet.
Well, you heard it here first, folks. Great. The next one is top underrated film. Who wants to go first? Joel, do you want to go first?
I'm actually so.
Oh no.
I've kind of, like, I guess it is rated as a whole, but whenever I've spoken to like people, like people that I know, they're always either like, oh, I have no idea what you're talking about, or nah, I didn't really like it. But I think it's one of my favourite films, possibly I've ever seen. And that's The Green Book.
Okay.
Right.
I haven't actually seen it.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen it.
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's good.
See, this is the thing. So it's really good. Yeah. And I've probably watched it like 5 or 6 times within the last year or so. And it's like, that's quite a lot for little Joel.
Hang on. So you've seen The Green Book 6 times in the last year, but you've seen one film in the last 2 months.
Okay, in the last 12 months. I did genuinely. It's the only film that I'm ever like, oh, would I rather like be doing something else or sit down and watch a film? I'm like, I want to watch Green Book.
You just think I'm going to watch a film now. The Green Book. That's why you don't see any films.
At least your Netflix list is nice and concise.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I think it's on Amazon Prime if you're interested. Okay. But like, it's like so good. Like, it's just a roller coaster of emotions. It makes you think.
In my head, I'm listing all these films. I'm actually going to have to go watch them. Like,
well, the fact,
like it makes you think. It makes you feel. It makes you do everything. I don't know.
Poo. The fact that you've said a film and me and Angus haven't seen it, and you've watched it 6 times. It's basically the right answer, isn't it? Like, we haven't even heard of the film. Well, I've heard of it, but like, in terms of underratedness, that seems to be on the money.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I think it was pretty well received at like the Oscars and stuff, those things. But just from people that I've spoken to, nobody knows what I'm talking about when I say
I've definitely heard of it.
Definitely go have a look.
I just don't know anything about it. So, interesting. Jim, what's your top underrated film?
I think along the same lines, I really enjoyed a film hardly anyone's heard of called Hunt for the Wilder People, which is set in New Zealand, and it's just a really good film. Right. So check it out. Also a film called Her.
Oh, yes. With
so this has got
Her's great.
This has got Joaquin Phoenix and Scarlett Johansson's voicing a computer, and it's set like a few years in the future. It's basically like Black Mirror. It's basically an episode of Black Mirror, but in a film.
It's literally on my list. I need to watch it.
And he falls in love with his Alexa type computer thing, but it's a lot more functional than Alexa. And like
sorry
being
for
a
setting
geek,
off everybody's Alexa.
Well, oh yeah, mine did actually go off. So it's just a really good idea. Bearing in mind the film's probably like 10 years old now.
Yeah.
And there is this element of you, especially because
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson's got this sexy voice. You think, could I fall in love with my computer?
Yeah.
And the more lonely that people get, the more this, in the most Black Mirror way possible, you think, yeah, this could happen. This could happen.
Yeah.
As technology advances and people get more lonely, you'll just fall in love with your computer. This will happen.
I thought that about Wall-E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So just to go back to her, like, also from a bit more of like a visual standpoint.
Oh yeah.
The use of color.
Yes, great.
And everything. I think the DP's name's Van Hooydonk. He's been involved like Tenet, Interstellar, Dunkirk.
Wow. Okay.
Nice.
All of these ones. He's incredible.
Yeah.
But just like the use of color and stuff, like there was a specific color palette where they just wouldn't use blues.
Yeah, it's just all reds, wasn't it? It's like this.
But it was all reds,
orangey red.
But then there was different emotions. But like there was like one or two scenes that were specific emotions, and they only used those colors that they didn't use for the rest of the film.
Nice.
I was just like,
Interesting.
oh, this is incredible.
That's the film I want to go and watch now.
Yeah, that's the film I want to go watch now. Yeah. Okay. I put Jojo Rabbit as an underrated film.
Is that Quentin Tarantino?
Nice. Yeah.
No, it's what's his name? Taika. No.
Okay.
What's his name? Taika.
It's Tarantino type film, isn't it?
Taika Waititi.
Okay. Yeah.
And it's.
I saw it when it was first advertised. I was like, I want to watch this.
It's set around this kid who wants to join the Hitler Youth during the war in Nazi Germany, and like it's really weird because it's like everyone. It feels like the right thing for him to be doing. You're like, oh yeah, go join the Hitler Youth.
Yeah.
And like,
yes.
But his mum is found to be like smuggling. I haven't seen it for a while. Smuggling Jews into the country or something, or smuggling them out of concentration camps, and so she gets executed. And it's all about him seeing Hitler as a father figure, basically. So it's like, yeah,
that's almost like that.
It's very funny.
It's like at the end when you want the Joker to shoot Robert De Niro.
Yes.
And you find yourself sort of going, come on, shoot him. And you're like, oh, wait, I'm a terrible person.
Yeah. Another one that I felt like that was, is called Shockingly Evil or whatever. It's got a really long name. It's the Ted Bundy film with Zac Efron in. And the whole way through the film, you think Ted Bundy's innocent. You're like, oh yeah, he didn't kill those women because he was there. You know, oh yeah, no, he's absolutely fine. Like, look at him. He's handsome. He's charming. He's smiling. There's no way he killed. Zac Efron is very handsome and charming. There's no way.
I mean, the fact that he's handsome would be like.
But this is the thing.
Did he kill them? No, he's handsome.
Well, no. But this is the thing: is that you know, when you read up on Ted Bundy, the whole reason why people thought he was innocent is because he was a hot guy. Well,
this is what I don't know why people carry on being surprised with like serial killers or paedophiles. You didn't think that word would come up in your podcast.
I didn't think Jim would say paedophiles in the podcast.
But everyone's always like surprised. It's like, oh well, I really didn't think it. Because he's so charming. It's like that's why he got away with it so long. Like if he was just like in a trench coat, sort of like, oh yeah, I kill people, you'd probably suspect it, and he probably wouldn't have got very far.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Anyway, so the reason he got away for so long, and there was so much and he got the media hysteria around him, like teenage girls being like, oh my god, Ted Bundy's so hot, you know, and then he was presumed to be innocent. But the whole way through the film, you think he's innocent because you're being led as if you were one of those people living at the time and going, no, there's no way he could have killed these people. And then right at the end, this whole episode is just spoiler alert all over the place. But like, right at the end, he's sat in prison about to be executed in front of his ex-wife. And she basically is just like, you know, like, you got to be honest with me now. Like, did you kill her? How did you kill her? And then you see this, he writes, I think this...
That moment really...
That moment, like...
Again, spoiler
alert.
Spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, everyone knows he was guilty, so it's not like... But, like, that's like going, oh, I'm about to watch Titanic, don't spoil it. But, but basically, it's, you know, he killed this person with a chainsaw, and he basically starts writing on this, like, slightly, like, misted glass, you know, like chainsaw with his fingers. And as he's writing it, his face turns, and the music changes and everything, and you suddenly go, whoa, for the past hour and a half, I've thought Ted Bundy was innocent. Like, what am I on? Like, you know, of course, you know, he's guilty. And so, like, I love a good film like that, where I'm just, like, led to think, yeah, with Jojo Rabbit, like, oh, yeah, like, you know, you go, join the Hitler Youth, yeah. Like, it's...
Oh, dear.
I love it when films can just completely change your, like, outlook on things. Okay, top guilty pleasure TV show. Jim, what have you put?
Ooh. Okay, well... Caveat, my wife watches a lot of trash TV, so that's how, like, I end up watching it. So there'll be things like, you know, Love Island or whatever, but what we're into at the moment is Married at First Sight, Australia.
Absolutely class.
And I think the only reason why I like watching this stuff is that, you know, if we're honest, you sort of feel a bit superior to, like, with any trash TV, you just think... it's actually quite good for relationships. Like, if you're going out with someone, you see good behaviour and appalling behaviour, and then you just say, that's appalling behaviour. And if the person next to you's like, you're like, oh, okay, she's a bad egg. But if they're just like, yeah, no, that is really bad, what's happened there? You're like, you. So it feels, it's that whole sort of like, put a load of like stupid, desperate people to, you know, they're so desperate to be famous, etc., etc.
Yeah.
You do feel this air of superiority, which is why it's sort of addictive.
Yeah. Not to stay on the same lines, but I put Big Brother.
Oh yeah.
When it was running, obviously it stopped. But I like it wasn't. I wasn't. This isn't guilty. Like this isn't. We weren't just on about reality shows. Like, it could be anything. But like, definitely guilty pleasure for me was Big Brother. I love the drama. That series with Kim Woodburn, where she started absolutely raking everybody, and everyone was just like, "Oh my God, Kim, you're such a bitch, but I love you." Like, what is it about this that, like, you know? And she was just fully just like, "Oh, don't start with me, lovey," and doing all of her little bits. And then there was the series where David Bowie's ex-wife was on, and they went, "David's dead," and she. And then she made everyone think that David, who was one of the contestants, was dead. And then there was all this drama, and I'm like, I absolutely live for the drama because it is hilarious. Great TV. And you hit the nail on the head. You feel superior because you're like, they're all just so stupid. They're all on there for money. But it's even funnier when it's the celebrities. Like,
yeah, it's also infuriating as well.
Yes,
like,
but
there's also a celebrity dating agency which was redeemed by, I think his name's Rob Beckett. He basically calls people out in the commentary like every second, so that restores some like sanity to the whole thing.
Yeah, Joel, what did you put?
Yeah, TV.
Has Joel Tucker got eyes? Does he watch any TV or films?
No, I just don't really understand. Like I get like I like the occasional like TV show like on like Netflix or whatever, like a series. But there's not really anything that I'm like ashamed of. Okay. I remember when I was like probably like 2, 3, 4 years ago when I lived at home, I used to watch almost like religiously a show called Neighbours.
Right, okay.
A show called Neighbours.
A show called Neighbours. That's like going, Neighbours. It's a show called Friends. Have you heard of it?
A fruit called Apple.
Do you know Neighbours?
Yes, of course.
Like the Australian.
Yes, of course.
Oh, do you? And I was just like, but like my mum used to like watch it, and then I'd just be like, oh, like I'm actually kind of intrigued. And there's somebody that I live with at the moment also watches it, like within the day. And I'm just like, do I want to watch this again?
What era are you talking about? Are you talking like name a character? You talking like Carl Kennedy or Billy Kennedy?
Toady.
Oh, Toady. Okay, so we're talking like 15 years ago stuff. Yeah. Lynn Scully.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I can't really remember many of them, but like, I walked in the other day when it was on, and I was like, oh, like, all these people are still on.
Yeah, mate.
I was just like,
They're still here.
Neighbours basically invented the focus pull. Like, there are so many focus pulls in Neighbours. Probably the only soap with regular focus pulls.
On that topic of TV shows, top overrated TV show. Now, I put The Office US.
Oh, no.
ooh. Ooh.
I knew Jim was just going to lose it at that. Sorry.
I mean, it's great. It's great. It's not The Office UK,
No.
but it's just that easy viewing. Like, you can't say it's overrated.
I think it's overrated. I just don't enjoy it as much as people make out that you should enjoy it. I think right, okay, here's where I think it's different though, is that it's definitely set the tone for a lot of other US sitcoms in terms of Parks and Recs, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's multiple other ones. I just can't list them off the top of my head. But, like, it's that typical, like, like crash zooms and, like, pulling around and, like, multiple things happening. And, maybe there's, like, a on-location adventure this episode and things like that.
Mockumentary.
It's a
basically.
mockumentary. Yes. It's set the tone for that kind of mockumentary, though. Because if you think mockumentary, like our style, like The Thick of It, it's something completely different in terms of, like, it kind of...
Yeah.
It's not... The Thick of It is basically, it could just be somebody in the office with a camera who's just filmed the whole thing. Whereas The Office is kind of set a bit more around interviews, and it's like, oh, we know there's a TV crew here, and and it's a bit more. I just don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy the things it's influenced.
Okay, that's fair, because I did really enjoy Parks and Rec. It did feel like Parks and Rec was almost like another step, taking it forward. That's okay. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Jim, what did you put?
I've just got 5 words, which is orange is the new black.
Do you know, that would have been my second choice for overrated. Yeah. Yeah. No, I just don't even think you need to explain that. I think everyone knows why. It just doesn't really, like, I just don't know what it is that's making everybody...
It's just people arguing in prison. Chicks arguing in prison. That's
arguing. Oh, Lord.
Chicks
Joel,
arguing in prison.
What did you put?
I put a bit of a controversial one.
No.
I haven't watched it all the way through.
He's going to say, like, the news.
But from what I've...
You're going to say, like, BBC News, aren't you? Like...
BBC News. No, I put Friends.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah. So, again...
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I'm not...
I can't say that I've watched all of them, but from like the handful that I've kind of watched through, I don't think I've ever enjoyed an episode. And I know this is going to like really like wind people up, me saying this, but like, no, I just don't get it.
I think it's a bit dated now, but I think New Girl is better than Friends, and New Girl isn't even that highly rated. I love it, but
I do enjoy Friends, but I don't. This the thing is that it's just one of these shows I don't actively watch it. I put it on the background. I revised for all of my GCSEs with the entirety of Friends,
and that's why you failed them all.
I only failed one, but like it's it's just one of those shows, isn't it? You just put it on in the background. I think it's one of the best shows to do that with. I think it is overrated for what it is. I find bits of it funny, but now I've already watched it a few times, it's not as funny. And there is that thing of if you take the laughter track away, you won't laugh at any of it. Okay. Top Disney film. What are we going for? Joel.
Ooh.
Well, firstly, you said
Lion King.
You said Pixar film to me, so
I said Disney Pixar, and then Joel said
Disney or Pixar.
Goodness.
Let's go for that. I like Lion King.
Joel earlier was like, "Oh, I can't think of a Disney Pixar film." So
No, I just wanted.
Lion King's obviously
I just wanted
amazing,
to say-
so can't argue.
I just wanted to say Lion
Okay.
King. Like I could easily say like Toy Story or like.
which Toy Story though?
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. And I don't know what other people's
say
thoughts on this, but I think number 3 is the best.
Ooh. See,
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree with you, but not fully. I don't think it's the best. I think it's a really good one.
Yeah, I think
3
number 3. I also really enjoyed the number 4, based on the visual aspect, but from like a storyline.
No, the only bit I enjoyed about number 4 was the
number
ending
3 was
when I was
class.
crying because my childhood was splitting apart. But
Aw.
3 was better than 2, but 1 was better than all of them. So
Ooh,
that's
you're gonna miss the truck.
do-
I'm not aiming for the truck. Classic
I
scene.
do think Toy Story's like. I mean, the first one was like revolutionary and stuff, but 2, 3, 4, they all just seem like the same flipping thing to me after a while.
Oh, Jim, you are severely uneducated.
Imagine if they made like
Also-
4 Finding Nemos, because a toy always gets like lost or something, doesn't it? It's just like stop getting lost. Like
Put a tag on them. Okay.
To be fair, I can understand why some people would prefer like 1 and 2, but then I guess number 3 was like the only one that within my childhood that I actually experienced.
3,
Like
yeah.
like when
3
it came
was
out.
great because what it actually gave you was more than other Disney Pixar films was an actual sense of doom. Like they are going to die. Whereas the first 2 were just, we got to get back to Andy's room. Oh my God. Like we're lost. It's like, well, you're fine. You just need to walk. You know, like I get lost all the time. Whereas Toy Story 3, they were genuinely going to get burnt. And everyone was like, oh my God. And then that introduced a lot of children to the first concept of, oh wow, death is a thing. So
but did they die?
no, of course they didn't.
Well,
No, of course
it's
they
not
didn't.
Bambi.
It's a Disney film.
Well, it's not Bambi, is it then?
Right. I put Up.
Yeah, well, Up's a perfect example because I would agree with it. But again, in the first 10 minutes, in the first 3 minutes, which is probably one of the best sequences
Yes.
in any film ever,
The whole-
somebody dies.
yeah.
Somebody dies.
Yeah, but that's the premise of the plot.
Yeah,
That's
I know.
the
Well,
reason why he's on his own.
I'm saying that is a great film.
Yeah.
and
it also
I
came out
totally agree
after
with
Toy
it.
Story 3. So what I just said still
Well, I
stands.
suppose. Well, I mean, Bambi was like 1930. So
Yeah, okay. I've never seen Bambi.
Death
so
is good for Disney films. That's what we've come to the conclusion.
I
of,
put
right?
Up because Up is absolutely amazing and I've never watched it and not cried. Jim, what did you put?
I'd agree pretty much. I thought we were going Pixar film, so I'd throw in Ratatouille as my favourite
do you know,
Pixar
I put
film.
Ratatouille as my second. It was narrowly overtaken by Up. Ratatouille is so good. Anyone can cook.
Yeah, it's great.
Anyone
There's a load-
can cook.
There's a load of Disney films as well, but I thought we were in Pixar zone. So
No,
I didn't
I
bother.
think Disney Pixar's the good one. So great. TV show that got 1 series that should have had 9. Jim, what did you put?
Yeah. So, have you ever seen the Naked Gun films?
No.
Well, anyone who has will know that they're absolutely hilarious. It's like a spoof of like a 70s cop drama type thing.
Got it.
And this came from a series called Police Squad. And it's very surreal. It's really witty. It's like the Police Squad was filmed in the 80s. And I found out recently they only did 1 series of that. And then they made like 2 or 3 films off it. That series is probably the best 1 series wonder I can think of.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Police Squad.
That's good. I put Come Fly With Me
Okay.
just because I still don't know how that only got 1 series, but Little Britain got how many series?
Little Britain.
They're the same thing, but Come Fly With Me is vastly superior. Come Fly With Me is like the best show. And I know it's been like removed from like everything because it was offensive. But what I loved about Come Fly With Me is it did not discriminate in who it was offending. It offended everyone. It was literally
So it's
oh, if you're a white, British, middle class, I can't be offended by anything. I'm not a minority. Ha, yes you can, because Come Fly With Me takes the piss out of you.
Yeah.
As much as it does this other minority or whatever. I think it should have got
bit like
another
Family Guy.
series at least. Yes, bit like Family Guy, but it only got one series, which in some ways is the beauty of it, but I would love a second one that's not going to do it because
it would ruin it anyway, and it's offensive.
Yeah, and it's offensive. Joel, what did you put?
Again, I'm not confirmed about whether it actually has more than one. But from my understanding, it's a show called Bodyguard.
Okay.
With
Yeah.
with what's his name?
Yeah. The Scottish guy.
Richard Madden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's only got one series, right?
I don't know. I think it does.
Because
yeah, it could be a two-parter, but might be a one-parter.
we're gonna go with it's just
Oh,
just
no,
got one.
there's a
Just
season
'cause I
2
wanna-
on the way.
Oh,
okay.
there we go. Joel's correct because there's another
It
one
has only
coming
got
out.
one, and it should have 9. But that first episode is like
Good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I do. Oh, do you know what? Right, I need to rewatch I need to rewatch Bodyguard, and I need to watch Her. Those are my two things that I've taken away from this TV show that got 9 series but shouldn't have.
This is the last one, is it not?
This is the last one, number 10.
Okay.
I had to choose between 2. One Jim will agree with, one Jim will hate me for. I chose The Big Bang Theory because it should have like season 4 was like the peak, and then it was just like, no, you need to stop after there. And then my second option was Game of Thrones.
ooh yeah.
Game of Thrones after one. You're just wrong. You're just wrong. So the question is, should have been one series.
No, it shouldn't. No. The question is TV show that got like 9. Like 9 is just like a rough. It just got a lot of series, but it shouldn't have that many series.
I mean, money. How much money did that make? Just look at that. Also,
How much money do the Kardashians bring in? It doesn't mean that it's good quality, and it doesn't mean it's enjoyable.
I think if the last series would have been done really, really well, wouldn't like not just crammed into 10 episodes, I think it would easily be the best TV drama of all time, like above Breaking Bad. But as it happens, they're just a bit. I mean, it's not the ending isn't as bad as like Lost or whatever, but at the moment they are right up there. Those two. So to say it should have less seasons, oof.
Well, Jim, what did you put?
So my shortlist was Scandal, which is bad, and also How to Get Away with Murder.
Oh yes, that is.
I
pretty
realised
crap.
that these are actually written by the same person.
Oh really? Oh okay.
So oops a daisies. But again, that's the type of thing Olivia would watch, and I'd just be like, oh no, this is trash. But shout out to Homeland as well, which is I think it's only just finished, and season 1 was fine, and then
Wait, has it been going on that long?
yeah, I think so. Like there's been like 7 or 8 seasons, I think. Like,
I thought it ended ages ago. Wow.
anything more than 2 was way too many.
Yeah, I watched like the first few episodes and I thought, I'm not too keen on this, to be honest. So, great. Joel,
Take us home, Joel.
Take us home. The final one.
Oh, I'm the worst person to finish.
Please don't
Here we
cause
go.
a debate.
Finish on and up. Here we go.
No, like genuinely, I was about to say similar to what Angus said. Apart from your money chat, Jim, I'd probably agree just because I just don't get it. Oh. But as we found out today, I don't get much.
Jim is just disappointed in both of us. This is.
But then
We
also,
managed to get him on a podcast, and he's just annoyed. Like,
kind of going off of what I was saying earlier about my TV show. Technically, Friends goes back into that category as well.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I get that. That's
dunno.
what made me think about the Big Bang Theory. Was the Big Bang Theory had so many? It's still going. Shouldn't be.
The thing is,
you know?
no, it's
Is it
not. It's not. No, they had their finale. It was
Thank the
emotional.
Lord. But like, yeah.
Genuinely though, Big Bang Theory could probably be one of my favourite TV.
Even like
things
season
of all
8.
time.
Like, no.
I think I just watched through it and I just enjoyed the
3.
Like, it doesn't really have a story
Season
to
3
it. Everything's
is
a
when
bit
it started going
different every
downhill.
time.
When they all got girlfriends, you lost the humour, because the humour came from the fact they were all lonely, sad, geeky.
Yeah, fair. Have you watched the final
No,
series?
I haven't.
Though?
I gave up.
Oh my days! Like that final
The
episode.
final
No
episode.
spoilers. Oh,
I just don't think it can.
That is
like if you take a TV show like the IT Crowd, they knew when to end it. They milked it for as long as they could, and they went, right, this is where we need to end it. They did the final episode, and yeah, we all want more episodes, but they know that if they do more episodes, it's just going to turn into something that's not funny anymore. So that is the class way of like, okay, cut this season because this is where it should end.
So I just can't believe that we're rounding up this whole thing with 2 people agreeing that Game of Thrones should have been shorter.
This is probably why you should hire Jim and not us.
Yeah. Offensive.
no, but like again, I can't speak for like I haven't watched them all, so that's
start again. Even Olivia liked Game of Thrones.
Really?
And Olivia liked Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
It's only happened with like a few things before, like Peep Show, Marriage at First Sight, and Game of Thrones.
That Peep Show, Married at First Sight, and Game of Thrones. That is the holy trinity of Jim and Liv's marriage.
Pretty much, yeah.
No, I feel like Game of Thrones is just a bit of like a nerdy porn film.
Yeah. To be fair,
it's just like a load of really nerdy guys. Just like, no offense, Jim.
No.
If this is
no.
But it's like, oh yeah.
No. To be fair, I mean, I don't even. I'm thinking about Kate Beckinsale's Wonder Bra and how unlegit that is. But to be fair, with Game of Thrones, when I think of it, I think of like certain scenes where basically I'm not. When you mentioned it, I was like, oh yeah, there's like sex every single episode, which is not the best thing. But I'm thinking of like the scenes with like the dwarf dude like acting amazing, the bits where like there's a scene, spoiler, I don't want to give it away, but anyone who's watched it will know, the one with the eyes.
The one with the eyes.
And the big guy and like that is like, yeah, without too much spoiler.
Right.
But it's like there's scenes like that where you're just like, oh, this is insanely like amazing. Honestly, you could take out basically all of the sexy porny stuff, and I'd still think of it in like the same way.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, that's why
fair
Jim
then.
is respectable and we're not. Well, that takes us to the end of the podcast. That's all we got time for. We've overrun a little bit.
Where can we find you, Jim? Don't tell us your address.
Oh yeah, so I guess Instagram at Jim Elliott Visuals, or Team Jim if you feel like you know me.
Which after this episode, I don't think anyone could say no to that.
And that's about it really. I don't really exist properly on anywhere else.
Cool.
Oh, great.
Get on that, guys. To the millions of people that will be tuning in.
If you are still watching,
give
us a follow as well. Low Expectations Podcast.
If we remember, we'll chuck it in the description. If not, go and find it yourself.
Leave that to Joel. Yeah, brilliant. Is there any final wise words you want to leave us with, Jim, about life?
No, not really. I think I'm just going to start my game show wave goodbye now.
Let's all wave.
We'll see you next episode,
Bye-bye.
guys. And
Woo! Jim's still going. He's like one of the monkeys in the Chinese. No, not monkeys. The little cats. Is he broken?
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure we got that wave out, guys.
Yeah, no, that was great.